Nightline is brought to you by AXA New Zealand. AXA, ensuring the lives of millions of people around the world.
Very gentle motion for quite some time and gradually built up to a really strong rolling motion. It's one of the longer earthquakes we've felt for quite some time.
Tonight, an earthquake measuring 7 on the Richter scale rocks our world from Auckland to Christchurch. Emotions run high at a public meeting as West Coasters vent their anger at the government. A motorcyclist hits breakneck speed during a police chase through Auckland suburbs. And hundreds of school kids say thanks to the All Blacks in the most appropriate way.
This is Nightline with Carolyn Robinson.
Kia ora, good evening. A strong earthquake shook most of the country tonight. It measured 7 on the Richter scale and caused power and phone cuts in the East Coast and the Bay of Plenty. It was centred about 400 kilometres out to sea northeast of Gisborne, but despite its distance from shore, it had thousands scrambling for safety. It was a quiet scene in Gisborne tonight, but that belied what had been happening some 420 kilometres offshore. An earthquake measuring 7 on the Richter scale shook the country just before 7 o'clock and was felt from Auckland to Christchurch.
Very gentle motion for quite some time and gradually built up to a really strong rolling motion.
Phone lines were down on the East Coast and the Bay of Plenty, and power was also affected.
And I thought someone else was shaking the appliance on the other side. So I looked up and it was a big appliance to shake, so obviously that wasn't the case. I looked behind me and that one was shaking, looked up in the light fittings and they were shaking too.
While there was little in the way of damage, for those who felt it, it was a terrifying few moments.
Well, just before 7 o'clock I was watching TV there and watching 3 News in fact, and started feeling the house move a bit, and I thought, oh, earthquake, good one. And I got up just to get under the doorway. It seemed to have stopped, and then a few seconds later it started up again and kept going for quite some time. It lasted, I'd say, around about a minute. I was thinking, oh, here we go, March 2nd, 1987 all over again.
A radio announcer from Whakatane was about to go live on air when the studio started rolling.
Sitting here in the studio and the speakers on the wall just absolutely started shaking. I was quite slow to start with, and then it just absolutely hit.
And it was especially frightening for a woman near Edgecombe who'd almost lost her home after the last big one.
Well, tonight, I was just sitting on the chair at the dining table and I just sort of thought, well, gee, I feel like I'm moving, you know. And I thought, oh, no, it can't be. And then all of a sudden I could hear the windows starting to rattle, the doors rattling, and I knew then we were, we were on the way for a bit of a shake, yeah.
The chief seismologist at the Institute of Geological and Nuclear Sciences says tonight's quake was sizable but could have been much worse.
The interesting thing about this earthquake, or the lucky thing if you like, is that it was so far offshore. If an earthquake like this had struck on land, it could have caused, if it was near a populated centre, hundreds of millions of dollars of damage. So we're very lucky tonight that this was way to the north.
Weather watcher Ken Ring predicted this earthquake a week ago. He sent us a fax saying the position of the new moon almost guaranteed a rumble.
I was pretty confident we'd get a massive earthquake somewhere around between last Friday and Tuesday.
Scientists tonight say it's too early to estimate the likelihood of a follow-up tsunami.